Yes, we're live. Hello, everyone. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to my page. My name is Maricel, and I'm the face of this business page, which is called Mrs. M. Rupa. I work as a registered nurse here in the UK. I'm married and a very busy mother of two growing up boys. And alongside these roles, I am also a digital entrepreneur. Naks. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and to those who will be watching us on replay later, thank you very much as well. And if by chance you have not liked or followed my page yet, please feel free to do so you get notified of the many information I constantly share about building a digital business from scratch, which can easily be managed at home and can be ventured in by anyone from any background. This page will also give you updates and overviews on how I get on with the daily grind of life while working as a nurse, being a mom, and running my own online business. Right, so tonight I will be joined by four other nursepreneurs who will be sharing their takeaways on a book that we have been reading for a few weeks now, which can help in managing any business dealings or management or any resources management. Most of the things that we have discussed in the past, and the things that we will be discussing tonight are things that can also be applied in our personal and family life. To those of you who have been following our UK Nursepreneur in Action series, tonight we will be continuing to discuss about Chapter 7 of Danny Johnson's book called First Steps to Wealth. Chapter 7 is entitled Pathway to Bigger Profits. And to those who are watching us first time, welcome, and we're very happy that you're watching us tonight. Again, as what have been mentioned from our previous episodes, we are not life coaches nor experts, but simply nursepreneurs in action. Right. So let's start with Chapter 7, Pathway to Bigger Profits. Right. There are 3 simple steps mentioned in the book. Increase exposure. Let me put that on the screen. Increase conversion, and then increase scalability. Right. Ladies, the floor is yours. Who would like to share their takeaway first?
Ako na naman. Okay.
Yeah, I can do it if you want.
I'll start.
Okay, go on then,
Hello,
Coach Yanda.
everyone. Shall I?
Yes,
Shall I
you
go
can.
ahead?
Yes.
Go on then.
Hello, everyone. My name is Glenda. I am a nurse, and I'm also a global online entrepreneur. And welcome to another episode of Nursepreneurs in Action Live. And for tonight's episode, it's the chapter 7 of Danny Johnson's book, First Steps to Wealth, which is Pathway to Bigger Profits. In this chapter, she shared with us 3 ways or 3 steps to increase our profits or to grow our business bigger. And the first one is increase exposure. Increase exposure, that means you need to put your business out there. You have to put your company or your service or your products, whatever that you are trying, to sell. You have to put it out there. She shared many ways of exposing your company or your products. Nowadays, during the time of social media, there are many social media platforms that we can use to advertise our products. However, these services are not free, so we have to pay for this. But the author said, if you don't have the funds, if you don't have the money to do that, it's not a problem. You can do it yourself. You can use your body. Very cheeky. But but what she simply means is that you can be the walking billboard of your company. So you get a t-shirt, printed with your logo, on it, or have a slogan, yeah, that one.
That's
Have
it.
a slogan written in there, or a statement relating to your company or to your product or to your services that you are offering. If you are going for a presentation, wear a pin with your company's logo in it, wear a cap with your company's logo in it, wear a bag. These things are intended for people to notice. These are like a conversation, starter pieces. So if someone comes to you and asks about that logo, then that is your big chance to promote your product. And you should not underestimate that one person who is asking you about your company, because you don't know who is behind her. She could be the president of a parents teachers association. She could be a leader of a church organization. She could be a chairman of a community organization who might use your business or your services in the future. So so that's what it means. So what the author is trying to say here is money should not be a hindrance to put your business out there. And the second is to increase, what was it?
Versions.
Código. Increase conversions. So she said many things there, but how I understand it is that this is about choosing the right words to say during your presentation or during your conversation with your clients, because the words are very important. The words will influence the decision of your clients. And what she said here is that our most common mistake is that whenever we do a presentation, we always end it with a question. Do you have questions? Which I myself is guilty about it, because that's how I would usually end my conversation. Because if you come to think about it, it's a generic question. You just want to make sure that you have covered everything. You don't want your audience to walk away with a missing piece. So you want them to be open with you. However, this is not the ideal way to end your presentation or conversation. If you have to end your presentation with a question, then you should end it with a strategic question like, what do you like about my presentation? What do you like about the products that I presented? What do you like about the services that I'm offering? Now, if she answered that, then you follow it up with another question. Can you please tell me more about the things you like about my products? Can you please tell me more about the things you like about the services I'm offering? In that way, she is selling the products or the services to herself. By repeating it herself, it's just it is like that is magnetic influence coming into play. It is like she is suggesting to herself that this is exactly the product or the service that I'm looking for, just by repeating the good things that she like about your product. So it's not you selling to her, but it's your client herself telling you that I actually like your product because this is the things I like about it. So, and also the thing that I like under this category was that the author no, that is not the example. My example is my husband. This happened just right before I started reading this book. So we were waiting for a service. We were waiting for like 15 minutes. And then the woman came out and then she apologized to us. And then when the woman, left, I saw my husband, like, he was shaking his head. I said, why? I said, she should not really say sorry. I said, well, she's apologizing. Yeah, but you should have worded it differently. Well, anyway, my husband's, work is different from mine. So he is more client oriented, more people oriented. So I said, so what should she say then? And then he said that, when you say sorry to your client, you are admitting that there's something wrong or there is a flaw in your service that you're offering to your clients. She should have said, thank you for waiting. I appreciate your patience. He said that by saying sorry and waiting, these two words has a negative connotations already. So your client will walk out thinking that you wasted their time. Whereas if you said, thank you for waiting, I appreciate your patience. Patience, I appreciate. Thank you. These are all positive words. So thinking about it now, there you go. So that is the power of magnetic influence through words. So that's it. So the author is quite right. To increase your conversion, you have to be watchful of the words you use during your presentation, because it will influence greatly the decisions of your client. whether they will patronize the product or the services you're offering or not. Moving on. The next one is to increase scalability. Increasing scalability, again, the author mentioned so many ways to increase the scalability. But the one thing that stood out to me was focus on growth. Focusing in growth means you have to bring in more business. You have to duplicate your business. But by doing so, you are also bringing in different kinds of problem. And how do you manage that? You have to duplicate yourself. To duplicate yourself, you need to recruit more people, and you have to invest in training these people. And also you have to master the art of delegating your responsibilities. And to do that, for you to have the confidence to delegate your responsibilities to other people, you have to make sure that this person is trained enough to a certain standard, to your standards, in fact, because if you come to think about it, he will be representing you. He will be making decisions in your behalf. So you have to make sure that this person is empowered enough. This person is equipped with the proper knowledge, with the proper skill set to take on, his new roles. And one thing that I like, under this, that the author, because the author took the Army General's company as an example. So this Army General sent all his employees to a training. This training was conducted by the author herself. So the training is about first step to wealth or success. In there, the author taught the employees she taught the employees the 12 laws to success, which are the law of vision. We discussed it in our previous, chapters or previous, episodes. I hope you remember that. But let me just recall whatever I can recall. I remember the first one was the law of vision, the law of the mind, the law of promotion, the law of reaping and sowing. And alongside that is she also taught the employees about magnetic influence, about this powerful communication tool, which is forming. She also taught the employees how to identify themselves according to their individual gems. Or Wendell, why are you laughing? She also taught the employees how to categorize other people according to their personality types. So then, after the training, the employees are now trained how to work with each other basing on their individual gems. So they use each other's strength to cover each other's weaknesses. And by doing so, they were able to create a working environment which is harmonious. Now, if you work in a harmonious, environment, you feel inspired to come to work. You love your job. You like coming to work, and then you are also motivated to do more. You are motivated to give more, to the company. And also because the Army General invested, on his people. So now the people are at the top. The employees are at the top of their game. So who benefited at the end? His company. So the Army General's company grew from 1.5 million to 8 million in a span of 18 months. So if you come to think about it, it's actually, like a big, it's like a big jump. So there you go. So talking about the Army General, another thing which I like, what the author mentioned in this chapter is about leadership. She said that leaders are not born leaders. They are not born to be leaders. Leadership is not genetic. Leaders are made. Leaders are built, and leadership is developed. Anyone can be a leader. Leaders can be the pearls, the rubies, the emeralds, the sapphires. Anyone can rise up in the leadership arena. But to be a leader, it requires character, it requires skill set, and requires most of all a kind heart. A true leader should have the humility to accept criticisms and correction without taking offense, because he knew in his heart that that is part of his development, that is part of building him up to be a great leader in the future. And she also categorized leaders into two kinds. So first is the high level kind of leader. These are the high performing leaders. And another one is the low level leaders. These are the poor performing leaders. And what is the difference of the two? The difference is that the high level leaders, these are the leaders who focus on their people. They are more interested on with the people they work with rather than the company or the products that they are selling. And the opposite goes with the low level leaders. So this kind of leaders, the poor kind of leaders, are the leaders who focus on their products. They're the leaders who focus on their company, and they pay the least attention to the empowerment of the people. And also, she said that one cannot climb up so high in the ladder, on his professional ladder, and become a big boss there while his family life is breaking apart. The wife is not happy, or the husband is not happy, partner is not happy. The children don't even, respect him, because that is not true leadership. Because true leadership starts at home. You have to be a leader first at home, then a leader in your community, a leader in your church, then a leader in your company or in your work. You cannot just be a leader in one area. You have to be, you have to be equal in all of this. Otherwise, you are not a high performing leader. And also, because leadership is not sacrifice. You should not sacrifice your time. You should not sacrifice your health. You should not sacrifice your relationship, your morals, and your integrity in the name of leadership. Because at the end of the day, leadership is service, good service. Leadership is diligence, but never a sacrifice. I think my 5 minutes is up now. That's all I can share for now. Back to you, host. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So Coach Glenda's highlighted, well, the ones that kind of struck me the most is her focus on increasing scalability, which is leadership management. It's emphasized on the book as well that yes, if you have a business, you lead the business and then invest on creating leaders within your organization. So that in the long run, when you have raised leaders, top performing leaders, you don't have to do all the decision making yourselves, especially if you're expanding your business or investing into another business. So you have time to nurture other areas of your business. You have to create leaders within your own organization, and that will help you boost up everything or every aspect in your business. Right. So who wants to go next? Shall we hear from Thea? I'm picking up names now. No one's raising their hands.
Hi guys, good evening. So my name is Thea. So I am a nurse as well and a digital online entrepreneur. I'm actually in London at the moment, so I've been busy the last few days. Anyway, guys, hope you're having a great time wherever you are in the world. Hope you're all safe. My takeaway in this chapter, let me just I've got a little note. A pathway to bigger profit. So we have the three: increase in exposure, increase in conversion, and increase in scalability. So as what Coach Glenda said about the increase in exposure, it's just getting yourself out there, not actually having the reason of not having money at the moment to do the exposure on your business, but making the most of what you have at the moment. So with like for example in our business, so like my business partner Marcel, so she made a t-shirt for her own business. You could you've seen it earlier on.
You want me to model it for you?
Yes, you can stand up actually.
Walking billboard.
Yeah, show them. So I've actually, trying to get a t-shirt, myself, well, a different you know type, but yeah, it's in my one of my lists to do. Another thing is actually just a word of mouth. You know, you've got friends, especially that we're doing advertisement on social media, and there are friends, our friends that message us every now and then asking about the business. And you know, just make sure that you know everything about the business, that you're able to share, you know, the important things and what it is all about, and what what does it takes, you know, for them to start up, and those sorts of things. And and that is at what says in the book, that's actually a free advertisement, you know, for us being entrepreneur. um And another thing that some of the people do is they actually do some stickers for their cars, or making, you know, give out some, you know, mugs with their business on it, posting in your personal Facebook accounts, you know, just like that. And then the next thing that I wanted to focus is the increase scalability. Um, just what Coach Glenda said is that this focus on leadership. You know, if you have your own business, if you have created, you know, an environment where your employees are thriving, and then they will, you know, they will expose your business to other people, and you allow your employees to be leaders in themselves, and provide trainings for them, because in the long run, they will manage your business for you in the long run. And then you duplicate this one by training, you know, other people, and thus you know, increasing the profitability of your business. um, Another thing is, with regards to this area, is that you need to learn as well how to appreciate, you know, other people for the things that they're doing for you, by giving them bonuses. I know, you know, some people like giving them like Christmas bonuses, um, or other incentives that they could have, and just to make sure that you're doing this um, because of their production, and not because you know, they've been in the they've been with you for a long time. You have to base it according to their productivity. Um, I think that's all my take for this chapter. So back to you, Maricel.
Yes, thank you, Thea. Yes, it's true though that, yeah, we need to reward our staff, our team, you know, the members of our team, in order for them to, you know, um, create self-worth in a way, and that will boost up their morale as well. For any hard work that they do, if you're a boss, if you're a manager, if you're an owner of a business, rewarding them for all the effort and the hard work that they do is a must. And it will definitely make them work harder in the future, and your whole business will benefit from it in the long run, right? So who is going to share their takeaway next? Wendell, Leia, any one of
Can
you?
can I do it? Wendell will be the last. Okay, hi guys. Good evening. It's evening time now here in United Kingdom, and good morning, good afternoon wherever you are. So we're here again on our another episode of discussion about Danny Johnson's book, First Steps to Wealth, and we're discussing about the chapter. What's the title again? Pathway to bigger profits. Yeah. So everyone who wants to be in a business, they want to profit, and some some businesses will wonder how come they will wonder how come some businesses increase their revenues, boost their income, and how come their business doesn't. So Danny Johnson shares how to profit, how to be profitable. She gave us 3 steps, like as what Coach Glenda and what has Thea and Maricel has mentioned. She mentioned about the 3 steps. The first one is increase conversion, increase exposure, increase conversion, increase scalability. So in addition to what Thea and Coach Glenda has mentioned, that no need, Donnie Johnson shares that it doesn't necessarily you have a budget. You have another means to promote your business, like posting on your social media, or like using like a flyer, and what has Tejas mentioned, word of the mouth. But what on that part, I like what Danny Johnson has mentioned about sharing some stories and testimonials who will progress in the business. So at least in that way, if you will show the testimonials and then the stories, some people who are interested, they may resonate on their stories. And then another one that she shared as well is about the how you cultivate positive and harmonious relationship with your business partners, or your who people you work with, because in that way there will be a positive word of the mouth. So if you build good relationship with who you work with, there will be a good or positive feedback on what your business is doing. And then the next one is increased conversions. So in increased conversion, this is the way of how to convince your prospects to be your business partner or your client. So um, Danny Johnson, as what have Coach Glenda has mentioned, that she shared so many tips, the ways and how strategies how to increase your conversions. But she said a lot of people failed doing this part is because closing, you should learn how to the closing something. Let me read let me read what she has written. She said that and how to convince your prospect to be your business partner or help your prospect make a decision. Then she shared that you have to learn the dialogue of great closing. So because in this way they will realize that, oh, it may resonate my story. Oh, this may works for me. So in that way, you don't have to ask question. You should end your presentation or conversation to a client wherein they can convince, or they can feel that, oh, it may works for me. So instead of asking, you should share something that what do you want to happen in your life? What do you want these benefits to your life circumstances? So in that way. And she also shares the increased conversion about the follow up. So make sure when your prospect or your client um, become your business partner, you have to follow up, because it means you are rigid, you are true to your word. And then in this way your client or your prospect will realize, oh, she's really good, and she's trying to build a relationship with me. And then again, word of the mouth, it will spread to the other person that it means you are a good business partner. And then the last step is increase scalability. I like this part because Tejas mentioned about leadership, and as well as coach, and coach mentioned about leadership as well, and about growth. For on my part, I like the part that Danny Johnson has mentioned about um, scalability. This I love this one is because it means growing your business in ways that allow people to expand it for you. So it means it's not only you doing this business, other people will do this business as well, so that it will expand. So it's really important to take care everyone you work with in your business. So some said as well, a genius alone can grow a business into a giant. So taking care of people who you work with is so essential, so that your business can grow and sustain. So like in our digital business, our forefathers built a training site and then a mastermind. So they really look everyone, every members, every digital business under our digital business. Our forefathers really look after every business owners, because they provide a training site, they provide updates. So in that way, will benefit us, they will benefit them as well. So this is the law of reaping and sowing as well. So what you reap, what you sow. So that's my take on this chapter.
Thank you, Leah. Yes, it's true. The word of mouth is really powerful. Yeah, it's simply explained like, for example, there's you own a restaurant, you open a restaurant, and then in your soft opening, you say, for example, you dish out free drinks for everyone who's attended, and then they will, after eating and after dining in your restaurant, people will tell their friends like, oh, go to Leia's restaurant, she's really got good food, and we got a free drink, last time we went there. And so that's free advertising for you already. People who's gone into your restaurant is spreading the word that your food is good, and they get freebies whenever. Of course, it's not going to be every day free, but at least they get so curious they would want to try and dine into your restaurant. So budgeting is really not an issue in terms of advertisement. You just have to be resourceful and find out ways on how you can advertise for free, especially the business that we're in at the moment. Although it's digital, there are several ways that we could still, advertise for free. And last but not the least, shall we hop into our best dress tonight? I really like your top. I'm really sorry, Wendell. Wendell, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Miracel. Yes, I think I don't know what to say anymore. No, there's a lot of things to share. First, but before anything else, sorry, I need to introduce myself. My name is Wendell, and I am one of the digital business entrepreneur. Obviously, this is our team, and as you can see, we are building a team in our own ways, and at the same time, we are inspiring each other and motivating each other, because sometimes entrepreneur can be lonely, but here we are supporting each other, and that is the best part of it. Yeah, so okay, let me focus on this. It says about this chapter, it's about the pathway to bigger profits. So number one, it's about exposure, isn't it? So in terms of exposure, one of the things that resonate me, it's about the referral, referral system. So for example, if you have already set up your company properly, set up your business company, then that's the time that you can do some referral. Okay, you can ask, instead of you advertising or paying for advertisement, what you can do is you can ask people to refer you, and then in return they will do something about it. And then the second one, it's about the increase of conversions. So what is the increase of conversions? Looking back to this book, I was thinking that one of the things that probably the most effective one is to look at the numbers. So you need to track down the numbers. So for example, if you have a system where you put all your leads in one place, and at the same time you send bulk emails at one time, and then you can see people who clicked that email, who read that email. So those things, you can track the number. You can see on the system if how many. It could be 30%, 70%, or 100%. Or sometimes some of the emails may bounce back. Now, in terms of the last part, it's about the increased scalability. The very important part there is people love bonuses. Okay, so don't only give the referral bonus to the clients or to the other people, but we have to mind as well the people within our team, because we all love bonuses. We need to be pampered, we need to be treated right, and obviously that will help us and motivate us to produce, to become more productive, and at the same time to become more loyal to our company or to our business. So that's my takeaways, guys. So I hope you have learned something from that. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendell. Yes. So I'd pick one from what she said. That's really, really quite important as well. But I didn't focus on that very much when I was reading it. But now that she's mentioned it, I kind of like, oh yeah, that's true. It's the tracking the numbers, track your numbers, right? I think it applies to us as well because we're doing digital advertising, right? So we use analytics. We see how effective our advertisements are. We see how many people has clicked on our advertisement and all that. So if you're doing Facebook or even Instagram or YouTube, you can see the analytics. Excuse me, you can see how effective whatever words you put out on your business page or on your paid advertisement. So yeah, that is quite good as well. I think we should all do that. I'm guilty. I don't look at that. I just do my thing sometimes. But yeah, there are plenty of takeaways in this book. So for me, one of the things that I'm already doing and practicing for my business is the increasing exposure, right? So over the years, we have been exposed to, you know, our typical form of advertising, which is all in television, radio, newspapers, magazines, flyers, and all that. But in our case, our digital business, we utilize advertising through the World Wide Web or the internet. However, sometimes we forget that our warm market is just around us. And so exposing our business could also happen through our body, which was initially mentioned by Coach Glenda. So yeah, it's a form of free exposure. For example, is the t-shirt, which I'm wearing at the moment. Right, so it's just there. It's just a simple t-shirt. I try to use this shirt. I have a couple of them as well. I try to use them when I go outside. Yes, I feel a bit awkward to begin with. Yes, people stare at me and stare at my t-shirt. And yes, sometimes I do feel really, oh, I shouldn't worn this because they're all looking at me because they're trying to read what it says on the t-shirt. But then, hey, they get to know about my
life. It is good though. That is what it is supposed to be. It is supposed to be noticed by people. And it is supposed to be, you know, like a conversation starter. Like, hey, what are you wearing? What is that? And then give
that's
your
best
presentation.
Yeah, that's the intention though. But then, you know what? The first time I used it, like, oh my gosh, they're all looking at me. So, that's purely the intention of it. So people get talking about your business. So I get to introduce myself and my business without even opening my mouth, right? So the sample that was mentioned in the book was the pin that the author wore when she was into this weight loss business, saying, lose weight now, ask me how, something like that. So use your body as your advertisement, right? We're not saying that put a tattoo on your whatever, but be what you call resourceful, create innovation in how you could create something. So the message here is that if you don't like starting a conversation about your product or your services to your warm market, you can wear a form of advertising that would make someone else to start the conversation. And then after that, use the forming process together with the use of magnetic influence, which we have discussed in the previous chapters of the book. I also have a mug, which is here. It's got like NursePreneur and then my website and then watch, earn, learn. So I use this at work. And I intentionally leave it on the table after using it so people can see it. I don't tidy it up. I just leave it there in the break room because that break room is for everyone to use. Doctors use it, the domestics use it, or anyone who come to visit, other, MDTs, they use that break room. It's a big break room. So anyone who gets curious or interested can simply just search for my website and see what I have to offer without me talking to them or without me approaching them, right? It's awkward to begin with, but I got used to it. People sometimes would ask me, but then they're the first one to make the first step. I don't approach them, they approach me. And then I just said, just hop into the website and see, if there's anything there that is beneficial to you, right? So I don't know. I think other people use their cars. I've not done it yet. Put the website in there.
You know
But
what, Miracel?
yeah,
I have the food bloggers like Mark Wayne, Sonny. They have merch. They are using
yes.
so it's one way of advertising really and promoting themselves, especially
Mm.
even though they don't really talk about it, but people can see it, isn't it?
So YouTubers have that. They
Yes.
have merch. It's
Yes, they
a form
have.
of advertising, and then they get money from it because people buy it,
That's
right?
true.
It becomes a fad. T-shirts or caps. I think the
Cap,
caps are a good idea.
yes.
Some even the wristbands, because teenagers
Mm-hmm.
buy them. My kids get them wristbands. I don't know, from YouTubers online. I said,
Yes.
what is like? They watch and follow certain bloggers, and they buy their merch. So they advertising, and then they earn from it at the same time. So how good is that though? So yeah. So for our business, it's I know budget is sometimes an issue in terms of advertising, but let's create other ways on how to do it, right? Was it Coach Glenda? You mentioned to me before you leave like cards on like was it toilet or restaurant table,
Well,
something like that.
somebody mentioned that. I do have one. I don't have it here, but yes, I have printed like a calling cards, type cards, but I didn't put my number, telephone number there, just my
Ooh,
website and the picture or the background picture of my business page. So I'm never going to change that background picture because that is in the card that I have, printed. So somebody mentioned that to me, that purposely leave it in the, when you eat in the restaurants, just leave it there by the table. When you use the toilet, leave it in the ladies, toilet, something like that. But I've been handing them out as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's up to you, whichever way you're comfortable, in relation to your advertising, do it that way. Well, I just read something in our community that I think her sideline is like, give it posting daily newspapers in their neighborhood.
Mm.
So what she did is utilize that as well. So she has inserted flyers of her business alongside, her other job.
Did you get paid for promoting as
Yeah,
well?
it's advertisement for at the
That's
same
very
time.
clever.
Yeah, so that increased. She got leads from that. So you have to be just really resourceful and find things
Creative.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, be creative. Right. So what else? I think we've discussed everything that
We actually
is.
have a very powerful, advertising tool, our Facebook pages, our business, pages.
Mm,
You
Yeah.
see, this is like, a network. This will hit. I did not think about it. Now thinking about it, I should have, mentioned it. This will fall under increase exposure and increase, what's the second one?
Scalability,
Conversion.
conversion.
First,
Yeah.
yeah.
yes, you want free advertisement. Make use of your Facebook page and your business, pages. This is like a network. This is like what ABS, CBN, and promoting all this big, networks and all that. Um, Look, I don't know. I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this during our mastermind or I was invited to, another one. How do you convert, your buyers again? I think one thing is, again, trust. I forgot to mention this, trust. How can you convince
Mm.
someone, to be your business partner? First, they have to trust you. Ah,
Mhm. Sorry.
what are you supposed to do to make this person, trust you? Just like in any relationship, just like boyfriends and girlfriends, are you going to say yes to that, guy who is pursuing you if he just, pursued you for a week? Of course, you have to know him, yeah? So you have to, like, you will be like a suitor to them. You have to introduce yourself. You have to let these people know who you are. So that's why you have to keep on posting in our Facebook. Now I'm going to let our secret, out now. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why you always see us posting pictures, our faces on our Facebook every day, because that is our marketing strategy, guys.
It's
We want
social media marketing.
Yes,
That's how
we want you to
we are.
know us. We want you to know us. So why do you think when you say go buy a toothpaste and then you will always say Colgate? When you think of toothpaste, you always think of Colgate. There's even a joke, yeah, when the mom sent the son to go buy a toothpaste and said, can I no, can you please give me a Colgate? And then they gave him a close up, and he was just happy to get the close up, but he asked for a Colgate. Because when we say toothpaste, the first thing that comes into our mind is Colgate, because this is a well advertised product. Procter and Gamble is a very, very big company. So growing up, we see these products on the televisions, radios, newspapers, magazine. They're everywhere, so we get familiar to them, so we get to trust them. So now that we're grown up, we become loyal to the brand, even if there are other brands that are way better than Coca-Cola, than Pepsi, but we're so loyal to them because we know them since we were little. So this is exactly the same. That is why we have to keep posting on our Facebook pages. So the people who are following us, who's going to see us, so they will know, oh, Maricel, that's the pretty, busy mom. Oh, that's, Thea, who is always jogging in the park. So even if you haven't met each other, but they come to know you. So eventually, after a year of watching you, jogging, of watching me posting, like climbing the mountain or whatever, you would finally feel that I know them. Oh, this is Glenda again. She's in the beach again. She's in the top of the mountain again. So eventually, they will develop that familiarity, which again they will come to trust you. So
Yeah.
our Facebook pages is like a network. See, it is free. We don't have to pay, like ABS-CBN, they have to pay, these networks to advertise, the products. We have our very own network, so keep on posting, on your Facebook pages. Make use of it. It's free advertising, and it will also convert your clients in the future. There you go.
Yeah.
Trust. I forgot to mention
So,
that. Trust.
yeah, all this that we do is part of, I think I can like squeeze this into increasing scalability. Like our forefathers, just like how Leia mentioned earlier on, they are duplicating the system, right? They have taught us to do the very exact same steps that they have gone through. So all this that we're doing is part of our training process. So, increasing scalability is possible through duplication, right? So sticking to that proven and successful formula that has brought success to businesses who started ahead of us, or 2 or 3 years ahead of us, will simply with the aim of bringing out the same outcome as them. So when we get business partners or mentees of our own, we teach them the same process, so that it's all standard and everybody will get the same outcome or profit from the business. So the example that was mentioned there is like McDonald's, right? It was funny how she termed like McDonald's is made of like staff. What is it about pimple?
Simple. Started with the simple teenage guys.
Yes. So whichever McDonald's branch you go to, the taste of the burger is the same. The way they present
Simple
everything.
teenagers.
Yeah, people, whatever, teenagers, which is quite right. I was laughing at that when I was reading it. So it's the same. If you train your mentees to do the same steps that you have followed, they could never go wrong. And we're all headed upwards and onwards towards success, right? So another thing is you have to give away freebies somehow. I'm happy with a free pen. Like, when some at work, I always, is there a free pen? Like,
We make each other spend. Let them make
Yeah.
yours, the one with www dot.
oh, diba? So if somebody's promoting a business to you, I always ask, free pen, free mug. But I use it. So it's something that they could remember that, oh, she gave me a free something, and that will, duplicate, because I would tell that to my husband and my husband would tell it to someone else. So it's word of mouth. Again, it all boils down to that. So yeah, I think we've covered it all. Earlier we were just talking about, like, I don't know how to discuss this chapter. I think
I know.
Because remember what Darren and Mike told us, you have to keep advertising, you have to keep posting, because as what Danny Johnson has mentioned, continuously exposure so that it will continuously grow your business. As so if you stop, it will stop as well. You stop your business, so just continually exposing it, and
You
that's
don't
how we are.
advertise, then you don't have a business. Yeah.
Okay. Any more? Any last words, guys, before we round it up?
Ring bell.
Invite them to our webinar tonight.
Oh yeah, we have
Yes,
a live
webinar.
webinar tonight,
Yes,
guys.
we are inviting everyone to attend our webinar tonight, 1 a.m. in UK time. I'm not really sure with the other time. Probably you can do it, guys. And also, before anything else, I would like to promote my YouTube channel as well, Designers of Life. So we are all designers of our life. We have the power, we have the options, and I've just had my YouTube a while ago. It's about the affirmations, because I do believe in the power of affirmations. So having these guys, I felt awkward sometimes. That's why I'm trying to come out from my own shell as well, because I do love graphics, but I don't like to be talking so much. But I'm trying to be talking so much and then exposing my face on YouTube apart from this page. And also we have YouTubers here as well. And the good thing is they have done the, what do you call that? They have monetization.
Monetized, yeah.
Yes. So please follow them as well. I'm sure they can speak for themselves. Come on then,
Glenda
Coach and
Online.
Miracel.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please. My YouTube channel is Glenda Online Lifestyle. Please like and share my videos. Subscribe as well and click that notification bell for future updates. O diba? I sound like a real YouTuber now. I got paid already, so I should act one. I am a content creator, by the way.
Oh dear.
So this is my YouTube channel for In a Tribe. It's a family YouTube channel. It presents all our adventures and misadventures. You can see my family there. My kids are there. So you can tell that we are real people. When we present our business, online business to you, it's all legitimate. It's all, proper,
Organic, natural.
It's not a scam, because we are presenting our lives and our faces, even our family. They're all in the videos that we do. So yeah, so check out our live webinar tonight. Or do I hide this one? Right, so it's every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it will be 1 a.m. in the UK the next day because of the time difference. So you won't know everything about it until you poke your head in. There's nothing to lose. It's free. It's no obligation, nothing to pay, but full of information to take away.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want to be successful, get out of your comfort zone and learn out of your box or shell to learn to be with us or to be successful.
Yeah. So Thea and Leia would probably soon start their YouTube channel as well.
Yes, they will.
Follow my new business page, guys. So I've got a new business page. So it's Mark and Angel.
I was very scared. And then I saw Wendell. So I thought, I'm going to follow Wendell in there.
Yeah.
So I dived right in there.
What were you saying, Thea? You have a new business page?
So I've got a new business page on Facebook. So it's Mark and Angel Digital Marketing. So because I'm doing this, my big whys are my children. So that's why I made the new business page for them. So I've just started it. So please don't like it
Yes.
if
Promote,
you
promote,
haven't
put
liked
it
it
out
yet.
there, expose.
It's out there. So yeah, I'm gonna be yeah, starting getting the exposure on that page.
Mm. So there you go, guys. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. This rounds up our evening chat. Thank you for listening to us, and we hope that you have somehow collected a few nuggets of wisdom and information from everything that we have said on this episode. Again, we are your Nursepreneur in action and hope to see you all next week.
See you
Bye.
next week.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.